What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Buttery Fresh, episode 1. I am Splice Haven, and I'm here, as always, with my beautiful fellow host, Sleepy Wookie.
Hello.
And Evo the Saint.
Hello.
Wanted to start off by thanking everybody for listening, and I hope everybody had a great weekend. In case you do want to watch us live, we actually record and stream everything every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us live if you want to just see our ugly faces or chat with us and join in our conversations at twitch.tv/thebutteryfresh. Hope to see you guys there. How y'all doing tonight, boys?
Man, I'm doing pretty dandy. How you doing?
Pretty dandy.
I'm doing pretty dandy.
I can't, I got no complaints, man. It's only Tuesday, so
Evo, you're doing dandy. Well, then I'm doing fine. Together we're fine and dandy.
Space dandy. Boy, there we go. I don't know. I am losing track of the days being my 30 unemployed self.
So, okay,
Sometimes I think it's Sunday. I don't know. I didn't know it was Tuesday until right now.
I want to tap into that a little bit. Describe the average day in an unemployed Evo life.
Monster Hunter and Jergens.
Monster Hunter and Jergens. Yeah, actually, that's pretty accurate. A lot of Discord, a lot of Reddit, and then every time I catch myself on a fucking stream or Twitter, I close the app immediately thinking, what the hell am I doing here? I have lost my goddamn way.
Hey, man. Honesty.
I'm just saying, dude.
I appreciate the honesty. This shit is awesome. So for those of you listening, I am actually in Atlanta, and Sleepy Wookie is in Chicago, and Evo is in Los Angeles. So we are definitely recording remotely, but it is kind of cool because we're all in totally random different areas in the country. Mm-hmm. And so we've got different views. We experience different things. We got a lot of different stuff going on. Plus, we were talking about this the other night, just the generational gap between the three of us. 11-year difference. Yeah, I mean, so we're all technically millennials, but
yeah, we're like different phased millennials here,
different phased millennials. Yeah,
it's like different tiers. You know what I mean? It's kind of, you got the old millennial, and then like the not old millennial.
The term you're looking for is boomer.
Right, exactly.
I am lucky enough to be the middle one, not the baby or the old one. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Jesus, he just called me old, man. We're what, 5 minutes into this shit,
man.
We're 5 minutes into this shit.
You know what? I'm fucking sick of this. I'm out. All right. Hey, good. See ya.
On the plus side, as the youngest,
I'll be the old one. It's no big deal.
As the youngest, I learned from your guys' fuck ups. So
I mean,
thank you.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. So today, this like really just fucking irritated the hell out of me. But today, I get a text from my son, who is almost 12. He'll be 12 next month, and he says, "This is what I sent to PlayStation. We were playing Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and a player names whatever. I'm not going to blast the guy out right now. Actually, I fucking might, but we'll see. Was making threats to my friends, blank and blank, and me, blank. He was saying our dads were going to be killed by him, and he was going to shoot our moms and find and murder us and our siblings. I was disturbed by this player's words and would like to report him, but in Siege, you have to be playing with them. Please temporarily ban this player for me and my friends. We just want to have a good PlayStation experience. Thanks." I took a couple things away from this, man. Like, for number one, this kind of shit is exactly why I personally am not on social media anymore. And I know that this is definitely, live multiplayer gaming is kind of like a gray area of social media. I know it's not the same as like your typical Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. But, you've got an 11-year-old kid, which obviously this guy didn't know how old he was.
Right.
But as his father, I can tell you, he hadn't started puberty yet. So like he sounds like a fucking little kid. So you know that you're talking shit to a little kid and you're threatening to like murder their family and stuff. And it's like ridiculous. But then, you know, the way he handled it, I thought was very, I was impressed with how grown up he was. But you know, there's the whole thing, man. That's just why I don't do it anymore. And I know that you guys are on there, and I'm sure that most of the people watching are on social media. But I just have a problem with the fact that people tend to want to be able to get on there and they feel like they can just act however they want and do whatever they want and say whatever they want because they don't ever have to see these people face to face.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the guise of anonymity.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's just fucked up, man. I'm like, that
is pretty fucked up. I mean, that's some deep, dark shit.
Right.
That was said.
Yeah.
Like, even if he messaged any of us, that obviously we'd kind of just take it away like fuck you, dude. But
yeah, well, your like, fucking mom, bro.
Yeah, fuck your mom last night.
the typical tween comeback.
But that's like some next level shit. Like that. I'm going to come kill your mom and dad or whatever, detailed like that. I mean, I think we may have a potential serial killer here
in the making,
which we could turn this podcast into a detective story. We could go all detective on this shit and, you know, kind of just figure it out. We could if we wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, like we kind of talked about this privately like a week ago or something like that, but like, I mean, I'm not a big guy by any means. I'm not a violent guy by any means, but like, hey now. But now if somebody were to come up to me and say something, somebody were to come up to me and say that in person, like that's how you get a fucking tooth knocked out.
It's true. It's true.
You know, like
but everyone just ignores that part because
because it
no repercussions.
It can't happen.
Right. Because all you've got is like some fucking neckbeard sitting on the other side of controller, which, do I have one right now? No, we're good. Other side of the controller.
Almost called yourself out.
Dude, I had one bad before the Vegas trip, man. I was like, dude, it's been 3 goddamn weeks, bro. Like, imagine. And Splice, you know me in real life, dude. Like, I'm teen wolfing over in this bitch. You know? I'm a hairy individual. And, dude, it was like here all the way down, buddy. Like, Lord.
From the bottom of the neck to the toes.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, but the positive is, you know, you save money on blankets and sweatshirts. There it is.
Yeah.
That's a pro tip from Evo.
Yeah, guys, you cold, just fucking grow hair, idiot. Come on now.
You fucking idiot.
But the idea of
like, go ahead.
Sorry, the idea of just like hiding behind all of that, it's gross, man. Like when I was in college, I wrote a paper on social media and how it kind of veers away from what you were saying, but how like the intention of social media was to kind of bring everybody closer together so that, you know, you'd go on Facebook and you could say that, oh, you know, Wookie is feeling very good today. Wookie went and had a pumpkin spice latte, went to the gym and, you know, did some squats.
That's my favorite.
But now, you know, it's turned into a cesspool. I mean, I don't go on Facebook. I don't use Snapchat. I go on Twitter to like promote my stream bullshit the 3 times a year that I stream. And then like I surf Instagram because I think Instagram's great. Like you just have a bunch of collections of pictures and all of that stuff. And like, that's all you've got, you know? And, you know, you write 250 characters and as long as you don't venture into the comments section, golden. But, you know, half of the stuff that you see in like think about somebody like your son's age, where this is a young kid who now their entire perspective of reality is completely jaded off of like an online persona, where like you go on Facebook and And it's like, oh, hey, look at this. My friend like went to Hawaii this weekend and they did like this, and this. And then when they got back, they went skateboarding in Santa Monica. And like, that's all you see. And so you think like, hey, this person's got a badass life. But then at face, you know, if you like turned around and you look at it at face value, like it's just like everybody else, you know, it's all selective. You only show what is actually what's good. And so like the idea behind people's lives being different because of social media is absolutely true, because you only see the good of other people. And like, I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't know what kids talk about. I don't remember what I talked about when I was a kid. It wasn't anything intelligent, but I don't know. It all kind of fascinates me. Like it's just, you get to see like the shittiest parts of human beings. And like there's somebody who says this, I can't remember who it is or exactly how they phrased it, but like 30 years ago you had, let's talk about this person who like was talking to your son messaged PlayStation. Like 30 years ago, if you had somebody who was saying that, you would have that one guy sitting in a corner and that was it. Like if you had a classroom of 30 people, that kid would be sitting in the corner. Nowadays, you go on Reddit and you find a whole other pool of people who are just as shitty as that person. And now there's a community of them. You got a fucking gaggle of these people.
A gaggle.
Yeah, hive mind.
And so now,
very,
you know,
very hive mind.
You know, or maybe a murder of these people.
Oh, now you're getting
yeah, I don't know, man. It's fucked up. Like just trying to think about it from a level-minded adult's standpoint. I don't know. I can't imagine growing up in a world where like I only got to see the good sides of like people that I associate with, like the three of us. Like I don't know either of you guys personally. I've never met either of you guys in real life. You two, obviously, it's a little bit different, but you know, if we didn't connect as actual human beings, if we didn't make an effort to get to know each other, you know, we'd only see what the other wanted to see. And so it could be like, oh, wow, Splice is this badass life and he does all this cool stuff. And I just like go to work.
Do shit.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
no, I do.
You know. Well, damn, yeah, fuck my point then, right?
No.
You could just switch over to my name because I'm unemployed and I don't do shit. So
I'm unemployed. I have the freedom to do everything, and I don't do shit.
I don't do shit.
Monster Hunter and Jergens.
No, I get it.
That's
you
right.
know, and I wanted to kind of read one of the members of our live digital audience. Said, I try to tell my son since he's 10, if there's a toxic ass person, just report them and go to another game. And obviously this person was commenting on, you know, the situation with my son, but at this point, I feel like you almost have to have, like, regardless of whether they're 10 years old or whatever, you have to have that mindset as an adult to just like move on and go to something else. Because the adults are getting trolled or attacked or whatever the fuck you want to call it, just as much as the little kids are. That same guy probably would have talked the same shit to me, because there wouldn't be any more repercussion for talking that way to an adult than there was for talking to a kid. And you know, that's kind of why I chose personally to just separate myself from it, because I couldn't handle it anymore. And it wasn't just the toxicity. I wasn't getting bullied online or whatever, or it wasn't that I got tired of seeing other people bully other people online or whatever. It was just like the whole thing, you know. It's the fakeness, I think, is just the best. That's just
definitely a big one. That is for sure.
Yeah, because like there's people that act fake and they act like they're the hardest motherfucker alive, but then there's those people that are fake and they act like they're just the kindest, nicest, most genuine person on the planet. And then it's like they shut down their PC and they kick their fucking cat across the room and, you know, whatever. I mean, they're just fucking assholes. So
it's fucking violent, dude.
Hey, whatever. I don't know.
Hey, you said it.
I did. Guilty. So I don't know. It just goes both ways, man. And I just seen too much of it. I don't know. I'm just fucking over it.
It's definitely a fact. So you said that you essentially just removed damn near all of it, right?
I deleted Instagram. I deleted Twitter. I have a Facebook, but I don't
use
Facebook. Yeah, I have a Facebook only because I like deactivated it or deleted it or whatever the hell I did. And then I pulled up Spotify and it tried to make me log in. And I tried to use the same email and password as my Facebook account and it wouldn't work. So I had to like log in with Facebook, reactivate Facebook. So I have it. I don't think I'm actually logged into Facebook anywhere. And I quite honestly don't think I remember how to.
So let me ask you this. How long did it take you to adjust to essentially canceling all social media?
You mean like from the time I think I might want to do this to the time I actually did it?
No, from the time that you did it to like being used to not having access to it, essentially.
It took a while, man. It took a while because I think that everybody has like the subconscious grab where like you sit down and there's nothing going on around you and you immediately we all do it. We reach for our phone, and it took a while for me to like eventually pull out my phone and be like,
Wookie,
it took a while.
In my defense, I was reading Twitch chat.
Oh my god. Just pulls out his fucking phone right in the middle of recording.
Fucking millennials. No,
fucking baby millennial right here, dude. God damn, take it real.
So to weigh in on what Splice was saying though, for me, like I was saying, I only have a Facebook because of Spotify at this point. I can't tell you the last time I logged onto Facebook itself, but I do use the Messenger app very often, which you don't even have to have a Facebook account to use, as far as I know. And I strictly use that for like group chats with my buddies back home and to keep in touch with my family that's overseas, because I no longer have an iPhone. So I'm like living that life, which iMessage is the only thing I miss about iPhones. Which, question, is iMessage a social network? Because there is exclusivity, there is a barrier of entry, and you have everything that's also associated with social media. Like you can do video calling through it, you could do regular like SMSing through it. I mean, you can't really like kind of share media the same way, but I guess it's kind of a paradigm of a question.
This is kind of the same example, I guess, as Discord itself. Is Discord a social media platform?
So I was actually going to ask that same question, but I was going to go a little bit deeper with her. What's on my mind?
Whoa.
Zing. So, but no, like when Discord was just chatting, hey, and you could just video chat and send, whatever. Nobody really looked at that as a social media platform until it started having, more of like a community-based feel with the servers, and people were sharing videos, and there was all the different voice chat channels. Right. So I've personally never looked at Messenger as a social media platform because it just does the same things that Skype does, essentially.
Yeah.
But so Skype is
what's the other
technically
one? Oh, Slack as well.
Well, but so like the way I guess my question with iMessage was kind of bullshit because I don't consider Discord social media at all. Because like for us, I mean, you guys remember TeamSpeak, you guys remember Ventrilo, you guys remember IRC clients and all of that stuff. And so for me, like switching over to Discord was just a natural step. Like when I was playing World of Warcraft and we were doing raids, and like suddenly our GM no longer wanted to pay whatever, like $25 a month for a TeamSpeak server, we switched to Discord because it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Discord is definitely the superior of
those,
all of them,
all of them.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
With the Discord outages earlier, to everyone listening, we just had a Discord outage, conveniently 20 minutes before the beginning of our very first episode, and we were like, Trying to talk, and it was just kind of, imploding in its own ass. And Wookie came with a great fucking idea. And it was a great fucking idea. I said it kind of sarcastically. I didn't mean to. Let's go on the fly, fucking download Skype right now. And so we were like, oh shit, let's fucking Skype, download, boom, done. And then I opened up the camera. And I'm like, this already looks fucking horrible. The camera feed just to Skype alone, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like all just fake, imaginary, whatever. But like, I saw the quality, and I was
Microsoft's conspiracy.
Microsoft has really they Bulbasaur situations.
So let me.
And all I mean by that is
Bulbasaur.
They try their best. They Bulbasaur it. Okay,
I love it.
We're all Charmander mains, right?
Yeah,
guilty.
Period of the three, and no one can change my fucking mind. Okay, like, that's just you guys are not Bulbasaurs. No one listening, you're not Bulbasaurs either. Take that for what it's fucking worth, I guess.
At the end of this, I'm going to be like, hey, so Evo, any closing thoughts? And you're going to be like, I'm not a Bulbasaur. That's it. That's all I have to fucking say about this.
Yes. Oh, man. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, even earlier, I'm feeling a little under the weather, obviously. For those of you that don't know, I went to Vegas this weekend.
Tell us about that.
Mrs. United States of America pageant, and our friend who ministered my wife and I's wedding was running for the Mrs. Second time. She made semifinals last year. Unfortunately, she lost semifinals this year as well. Anyway, we had our little group, and obviously we were going to go as hard as fucking humanly possible. And so, just to be obnoxious, and show that we supported her and everything. And my voice is gone. And I didn't know this. Splice has told me this over the years, that Las Vegas is very taxing. It is very taxing. Very taxing. And
I think that's the most polite way of saying it.
I wake up and I'm like, I actually feel like sick. Granted, I also just moved from Atlanta to Los Angeles pretty recently, so I'm not used to the dry air. We need to get some humidifiers up in here too. But if you think my voice is rough, it's because it is. It sucks. So hopefully next week everything will be normal again. But yeah, it was a good time. Vegas is my first time, and
that was your first time there.
First time ever.
Oh shit!
Totally blind.
Like, I had no idea.
Really?
That changes a lot of things.
It was my very first time, and
Dude,
we probably killed a handle of whiskey a day.
Fuck,
those are rookie numbers.
3 of us. It is rookie numbers. I will do better to appease you next time, my friend. But man, yeah, it's definitely taxing.
Man, talking about rookie numbers. You're like $1.50 soaking wet, and you're talking about rookie numbers.
Hey, man, I can't hear you over my prickly pear cactus tea, okay?
I thought you were telling me I was like $1.50 soaking wet. I'm like, bro, you are being far too bullshit right now.
Not even far too polite, far too bullshit.
That was so middle school weight for me, okay? I'm like, add another 110 on that shit.
Well, you look great.
Fantastic. What kind of tea? What kind of tea you drinking over there?
Me? This is Snapple K-Cup peach tea.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty outstanding, but it's not on the same level now as Wookie's tea. Wookie's tea, I'm sure, is of much better quality. I mean, this is just liquid sugar, essentially, I'm sure. But
like, how do you fuck with prickly pear cactus?
Exactly.
I mean, that just sounds equal parts badass and exotic.
I mean, I will say
I'm looking at Wookiee in a different light now. I'm thinking that he's like some fucking cowboy going up to cacti. Okay, it is cacti, right? Or is it cactus?
I mean, I'm not a fucking scientist. Yeah, say whatever you want.
So, him going up to cacti and taking the prickly pears right off those.
I'll just combine them all.
Not so flaccid fuckers, and just juicing them right in his cup.
Yeah, that's.
Are you a cowboy, Wookiee?
That's well, saddle up, partner.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's I actually piggybacked my way to Vegas with you just so I could harvest my own prickly pears, you know. But
well,
I mean, I said
a lot
this...
of them do. We saw Mirage Lake on the way back.
Wait a second.
We drove there at night. When we drove back, it was during the day, and dude, that was some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in my life. It was phenomenal.
What is that, like a 6-hour drive from LA, right?
Three
Three
and a half.
Oh,
yeah, we had 3.5 on the way back because of traffic, but 2 there, it was 3. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Not for me.
Yeah, I love Vegas.
I feel like shit.
No, I mean,
I was salty over losing $300 and crafts money, and that's nothing compared to what most lose.
I get salty if I lose $5 I'm married to a chosen one. That's just how we roll. Like I just can't fucking do it.
Oh my god,
man,
shit!
I'm like
$5 could go towards fucking ramen. God damn it!
Man, for those that don't know, I've got 2 kids. I've got 2 very active kids.
Very
so
active. Active.
when you're paying for football and then football pads and helmets and all that and cleats and then basketball and then ballet and then my son and I hunt together, so every time I gotta buy a certain type of gun, I gotta buy 2 of them types of guns because he's got to be able to go do the whole thing with me. And so I'm exaggerating. I don't really get mad over losing $5 or whatever, but I mean it's hard out here. It's hard out here for a dad.
Now, how many how many do you have, and how many does your son have again?
I thought you were going to ask how many kids he had. I was like, he literally just said it. You know them both.
No, so I think as of right now, I have 4 and he has 3. If
Cool.
you're talking about firearms,
Yeah. Not kids.
yeah, he
How many
got
kids does your 12-year-old have, dude?
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna have many because
4?
this dude on PlayStation just threatened to come kill us all. So, but
Game over there, buddy.
Yes, but
he had a good run, I guess.
He got
GG, no rematch.
We got him like a little, I guess what you would call a starter rifle, kind of like for Christmas. Okay. And then he wanted a shotgun. And so he saved up all his money. He runs his own little dog sitting business here. He makes all his money. He saves his money. He I'm not going to say he pays his own way, but he definitely
but that motherfucker works.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean it's
and you guys go like shoot at the range quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, we actually went Saturday and Sunday, and we're going tomorrow.
Is he pretty good?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, and I was actually really impressed with the way that the first time we went there, he was a little bit nervous. And then, he definitely, he was just cautious, and I think it was more of it was a respect thing as much as like,
as we all know, that is the number one rule. I would say.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially for someone of that age to have that respect.
Yes.
And to be cautious like that. Yeah. That says a lot about your parenting, I think.
Oh, thanks, buddy. But then the next time we went, after we went back to the same range and he was familiar with it, he knew what the deal was. I was like, all right, dude, we're going to start packing up or whatever. And he's like, oh, can I shoot the 22 a little bit? And I'm like, yeah. And he's just loading up the 10-round mag, lock and load, and put the safety on, set it down. I didn't have to tell him anything. So he's
cool.
I don't know if I'm going to say it's him playing Siege all the time or whatever. I mean, I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
Hey, man, now I have seen that kid play some freaking Titanfall, though, man.
God, it makes me sick.
Back in my console peasantry console days,
oh, God.
I was pretty flipping good at Titanfall, but I learned the hard lesson that you can lose those controller skills for shooting games when I went to your house for New Year's.
quickly.
And I was like, what happened, dude?
Yeah,
like, holy crap.
Oh, no.
Whew. But really, though, I know good gameplay when I see it. And that kid has been really talented for a long time. And, you know, some people, you know that I am a video game addict. I play a lot of video games.
It's about 6 hours sober.
6 hours sober. Soon to not be. I think this nice little screwball peanut butter whiskey next to.
Oh man, peanut butter.
Buddy, you gotta try it.
Buddy,
$28 for the which is a little more than I usually want to spend on a 750 because I kill it so fast. But for such a unique new thing, like it's pretty gosh darn good, I'd say.
Dude, I'd be salty as hell if I lost $28.
Man, I gotta admit, I was down in Texas.
That's $28, man.
$28, man.
I was down in Texas I don't know, 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago, or something like that, and I had without a doubt the best whiskey I've ever had in my entire life. It was
okay. I need to hear.
It's a $17 750. And it's called TX whiskey, and you only get the blend. You can only get it, as far as I know. Don't quote me on this. Some fucking keyboard warrior out there. Don't quote me on this. You can only get it in Fort Worth. You can only get it. You can only get it in Fort Worth, which that was my first time going there, and the stockyards are like one of the coolest fucking things I've ever been to in my life. But
I've been several times.
TX whiskey, man. TX whiskey.
TX whiskey.
That's literally what it's called. And get the blend. You might be able to order it if you're like actually interested in it. I've got a couple colleagues down there that I like have been talking. Hey Siri.
order me
in 2 hours to get TX whiskey.
So if you're actually interested in it and you're not able to find it anywhere, let me know. I've got a guy down there who's very interested in, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Bourbon County, the beer. The brewery is it's a beer that's a craft beer that's aged in whiskey barrels, essentially. Well, in bourbon barrels.
That's like a new thing, man. I've seen a lot more.
So
of that.
That's like what started.
Innocent Gun does the same thing. Innocent Gun. It was that.
Oh
beer
yeah,
that
was the one. That was the one that we. A long time, but yeah, we drank that with my dad. We drink it with my dad.
Your dad is a very special person, man. He's a great guy.
But I've been working up some trades for Bourbon County for some TX with him, so I'm trying to get a couple vintages of Bourbon County, because those Bourbon Counties for like literally I don't know however many ounces are in a regular beer bottle. It's like $12 per bottle or something like that. Like it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not like I mean they only do limited releases of it. Like there's lines out the door from the brewery to get it. Like you enter a wait list to get this stuff.
That sounds like I don't know if you guys ever watched Supernatural. It's my guilty pleasure. But Dean Winchester, one of the main, like the main guy.
Such a badass name.
Dude, it's such a fucking badass name. He actually opened up a fucking thing too. A brewery. There we go.
One of those distilleries of beer.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is it a facility somewhere in the Tennessee mountains?
No, it's in South Texas. I think it's near Austin, I believe. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going there. Downtown Fort Worth, though, man. So that was your first time, right?
So I went there when I first got hired with the company because we have an office out there, and I went out there and I did some like field observation of a couple of our employees, and so I didn't actually get to spend any time out there, but they flew me down there for their Christmas party this year, and I got to spend like a couple days
do stuff.
Yeah. So like when I wasn't at the office or like having meetings or anything like that, then we got to go and see the city, which. Another recommendation.
Is awesome, bro.
Yeah, so we stayed.
Great time.
We stayed at the Omni Hotel, which is it's like right on the main strip. It's like right next to this fucking beautiful old train station where they had the Christmas party. It was absolutely fantastic. Dude, Fort Worth, fantastic.
You can't have a bad time in Fort Worth, dude. Even if you just walk around, the whole downtown district is like so cowboy hipster-fied Like it, dude.
But it's
awesome, man. Like they have like top restaurants and bars and shit, and all
Bonell's
like,
Steakhouse,
the
man.
decorations around downtown, the statues, like, dude, it is awesome. There's a huge plaza you can go right in the smack dab middle. I think it's like right there by the courthouse. Actually, I think it's like right there, and it is it's just wide open. People just drinking beers, having a great time.
Yeah.
Dude, I would live there in a heartbeat. Honestly, it's awesome.
Yeah. So
I don't know that I've ever actually been anywhere in Texas and not enjoyed myself. Honestly,
that's
but
a good point.
Well, except for Dallas. Fuck Dallas. Dallas kind of sucks.
I mean,
sorry if anybody here is from Dallas, but
my sister got married in Dallas, but you know,
yeah, that's where I got married. Well, I got married in Fort Worth. When was it again? Last year? 2 years ago, almost. No, year and a half ago. Yeah, Halloween 2018. And yeah, it's definitely great. I love it. Parents loved it. Her parents lived nearby there in some area outside of it. But yeah, I hope that we can live there one day, just to say that I did, and then, you know, just
my God,
enjoy it.
the cost of living in Texas is so low, dude. When I was out there,
it really is.
I know I've talked to Splice about this a couple of times, but like we're like, I'm 25 for reference, and I'm like, you know, just getting into my big boy job, and I'm like starting to consider the idea of like owning real estate at some point in the near future. Yeah. And like for me to buy something out here, say in the suburbs of Chicago, in like a relatively safe suburb, if I want to buy like a good home to start a family with, like say, you know, like 3-4 bedrooms, you know, something, you know, I'm like kind of checking myself here because I know that that's not how everybody looks at it, but like that's the way that I was raised, like in the suburbs, and you know, like a home with a yard and all of that stuff. For me to have that out here, like that's $500,000. For me to buy that exact same thing in Fort Worth, and I'm talking like a house from the 80s, it's like $500,000. Yeah. If I go down to Texas, like I was looking at Fort Worth, I'm addicted to Zillow. Sponsor. I'm addicted to Zillow, and let me close away those broker fees. I'm addicted to Zillow, and so like we'll be driving like from the hotel to the office or something like that, and I'll like be looking at new construction, trying to figure out everything. Like you could buy a fucking like 3,000 square foot house with an in-ground pool for like $350,000.
Absolutely.
I mean,
what am I doing?
And you got to have the circle drive. You gotta have the circle drive.
Oh, I mean, come on, we're not.
I mean, it's
class.
Come on,
it's not much different than Georgia, really. I mean, as long as you're not in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, because like Brendan, you've been to my house, and I'm not gonna start bragging about houses or anything, but
it's literally 8 bedrooms, dude. 10 baths, 3 half baths.
Shut the fuck up.
I can't hear you over the sound of your crown molding, Splice.
Yeah, I can't hear you through your
those are dampening boards. That's not crown molding. That's sound dampening boards. But anyway, you know, we built ours, we designed ours, and you know, we paid about that. You know,
it's a pretty damn fine home, I believe.
But still, in this day and age, like if even looking at it, you know, a $350,000 house, that's still a lot for a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, the only reason
it's a shit ton of money.
It's a shit ton of money. The only reason that we were able to really do what we did is because, like, yes, I got married young. I was married at 22, owned my first home at 22, had my first kid at 24. I was a police officer by 25. And you know, but that's not normal. That like most people don't do that. But like we were able, we just got lucky that we just were able to just play our cards right, and we stayed in our first house for 10 years, and then, you know, had enough equity to be able to upgrade.
Well, but it was pretty easy to get the equity, like as much as you got. That entire area blew the fuck up.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got really lucky.
Let me correct myself. It's been blowing up for a good 40 years, easy.
Yeah, and we bought.
I mean, then they went hard as fuck on that entire area.
Right.
And then it just, I mean, everything just skyrocketed, dude.
Absolutely.
Big time. Now, hold up. I need to rewind for a second.
Bring that shit back, bro.
Okay, so sorry, that was like really bad. Okay, I'll never do that again.
Hang on, Splice. Can we get you to make that sound effect for us?
There
it is.
Thank you. I blame my. You said you were a police officer. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
I only did it for 3 years.
Okay. How bad did it suck?
No, actually, I mean, so just like with every job, profession, career, whatever, it has pros and cons, just like everything else. There's definitely aspects that I miss about it. For reference, I was not.
Did you miss the wheel and deal? Or
no, like I was not
average
5
bride?
over. Oh, is that a pack? I'll take the smokes and let you go.
That's the thing.
It's cool, dude.
That's the thing, though. Is like I wasn't a street cop.
Trade you a pack of Reds for a cell phone.
I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done it. I had to think about it. I was with the sheriff's office, actually. So, the sheriff's office, there are some full service sheriff's offices here that actually do have like road patrol units or whatever. But the county I worked in was so big that their police department handled all that. And the sheriff's office, all they did was like serve warrants and court subpoenas. And then they worked security for the courtrooms, and then we provided security in the jail. So
cool.
I was definitely in the jail, and I was that dude that they sent to the places where people liked to fuck off. Where if they had trouble.
Did you ever fuck on?
No, what? And it wasn't because I was like this enforcer. It was because I was, I treated people like people until they gave me a reason not to. So usually, I could go down there, and if there was a problem, I could generally get them to just talk through it and just calm the fuck down. And
right.
Hang on, let me interrupt you here for a second. Are you telling me that if somebody has a criminal record and if they're on the other side of the law, if you treat them like a human being and you treat them like somebody who's actually, like, I don't know, on the same plane as you, that they're not going to be a piece of shit?
Absolutely, sir. Ding, ding, ding.
Whoa, dude.
That is the
and I used
to catch shit for it. Like I'm not even gonna lie, man. I had people that were like that would say, "Oh, you're inmate lover" or whatever, because I would literally walk in and I'd be like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" And I'd shake their hands, "Good morning, how you doing?"
Yeah.
Whatever, because
you just don't treat them like a piece of shit.
No, because if you go in there with that attitude, like, "My name is officer, your name is inmate, and you will do what I say, and fuck you, and get against the fucking wall, and get on the fucking ground," for like no fucking reason, just for the sake of being like, you see that shiny fucking badge on my chest? That gives me the right.
It means
to
little dirt. What?
Yeah, I mean it. Just... Oh my god!
Did you get the one that was a sticker so nobody could take it off of you and stab somebody with it?
I wish. Man. But I mean, if you just have respect, and that has nothing to do with like the line of work. That's just fucking life. If you just live your life with a general respect for human beings, then that you generally are gonna have an easier time. One of our live digital audience members says, the problem is that line of work tends to attract those kinds of people that get off on having artificial power over people. And
absolutely,
I'm not gonna disagree with that. I have a lot of respect.
I completely disagree with that.
How so?
Because don't get me okay, so you're thinking of a vocal minority that does these terrible things, and that's what you hear. So like, dude, it doesn't matter if you're a police officer, it doesn't matter if you're a business executive, it doesn't matter if you're slinging bags on the corner. If you're a piece of shit, you're going to be a piece of shit no matter what.
Okay.
So
yes.
To further, I'm going to see if I can guess this. So you're talking about the vocal minority and pieces of shit, right? So the ones that become those types of officers, they have a little more leeway to be that piece of shit instead of hiding behind.
Well, it's accentuated because you've got a badge that, I mean, don't get me wrong.
It can allow it to an extent. Like you can, like
you can coast with things.
Yeah. Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense. I never really thought about it.
Like one of my best friends, and he's a state trooper for the state of Illinois now. And I mean, he's like one of the sweetest guys you could ever possibly imagine. Like he's super nice, but when he's in uniform, like he's still a good guy, but there's that certain level of, and I don't want to call it aggression because that's the wrong word, but you have to have some sort of authority within yourself. Because if you pull someone over and you're like, oh hey buddy, I think I like smell some dope in your car, but like it's cute, like we're good. Nobody's gonna take you seriously. So like you have to have like that little bit of extra, oomph to you, if you will.
Yeah, okay, but
fortitude.
I guess what my point is you can have that extra little bit of oomph without being a complete dick about it. Like I was still respected by officers and by inmates, but I was never an asshole to either of them unless I needed to be. And I've been an asshole to both sides of it.
But that's just being human.
Yeah, to me, people are people. And one of our audience members says it's called professionalism, and that's really the best word for it, is that just like in any other job, there is a level of professionalism, because at the end of the day, yes, you have this authority. Yes, you have to kind of portray that in a way so that you don't get walked all over, but you still are also wearing a uniform that's like not that easy to obtain. There is still, and you're still representing the entire department every time you put that uniform on. And I took that part really seriously.
Get officially in a department. I mean, I know it's pretty stout.
Yeah, it was. And then it's like, when you first start out, you don't wear the same uniform as everybody else. You're wearing Dickies khakis and a Dickies khaki colored button-up shirt that's got a little badge embroidered on it, and your name tag says like trainee or something, or recruit or something like that on it. So when you first walk into that jail, they know. Like they know you. Like they're like, oh shit, I've never seen this guy before. He's in tans. This a rookie motherfucker right here. And they test you a little bit, but it's just it's just professionalism, and some people are able to deal with that, and they're able to kind of find that balance, and some people aren't.
Let's with all the opposite side of the spectrum here. So on the professionalism aspect,
okay,
I want to ask you, who was an officer for 3 years, what is the grossest, most off the wall thing that happened to you when you were working there? I want to hear about the professionalism that I want to hear about the professionalism that the inmates had.
Sorry, repeat that one more time, Evo. You cut out a little bit there.
Oh, I want to hear about the professionalism that the inmates had. That's just what's the craziest shit that happened to you in that facility?
So
just a top one.
Okay, first you said the most disgusting, and then you said the craziest. So
those two words are kind of going hand in hand.
I think that the craziest / most disgusting thing I ever saw was we had a guy that was coming down off of something, I don't remember what.
Bath salts.
That was not
a nice little cocktail.
That's a whole different story. The bath salt story is something totally different. I don't remember. That was not my job to know that. My job was to just make sure this guy didn't die and that he got to court on time or whatever. But he was like, we had a lot of people that finger painted, where that's where inmates take their own shit and draw on the walls. But
Mother of God.
But this guy.
But was there any good art done with their poop?
No, but there was some. It was never good.
Did they fully draw Attack on with their own shit?
No, there was some elaborate attempts. I mean, I'm talking scenery or whatever, but none of it was ever good. Usually it was like, fuck this place or something like that. Very well thought out. But we had this one guy who just must have been sick to his stomach because it just was runny and gross or whatever. And as opposed to drawing, this guy, palms of his hands, and just because he was in a padded cell with a window so we could see in, and he started literally just coating the walls completely on the inside. And then
the pads are fabric, so it's not like...
No, they're not fabric. They're like
I thought they were.
It's like a rubber. It's like a rubbery material, like a hard, like a... It's
did
not even that
did it soak in,
though? No, it didn't. And
cool.
then we would come up and we'd look in there and I'd start banging on the window and I'm like, yo, motherfucker, like knock that shit off. So what's he do? He starts covering the window so that we can't see me. So that we couldn't see in there.
Mad.
Except that the stench, bro, coming out of that, you couldn't go within 15 feet of this room, and that was definitely
sweet.
That was definitely the grossest thing I saw. Luckily, we didn't have to clean that up. We got on the phone and we were just kind of like, I need some inmate workers down here, and
wow.
and then they came down and put on full on like hazmat suits basically and the whole thing, and the guy, he had covered himself too, so it was like we're sitting there rock paper scissors and who's gonna have to go in and grab this naked guy covered in shit and put him in cuffs. And I won.
It wasn't you.
No, it was
okay.
not.
Okay, cool.
So see, when you said you won, I thought you meant that you were the one that like got to go in there and do it. Be like, yeah.
No. I typically on those kind of situations, my job was generally like riot shield in case they tried to run. I just kind of,
you have definitely answered my request. I appreciate that.
And try to sleep tonight.
You're welcome.
Anybody else got any good poop stories?
You're welcome.
Oh, hey, speaking of some poop, let's talk about the PS5 and the all the shit they're in right now.
Hey, now.
Yeah, admittedly, I am 100% out of the loop. 100% out of the loop. So, whatever you guys have to go over that, like, by all means, I'm down. I want to get caught up. So.
I want Splice to go first because I'll give you some very strong opinions that are not at all based off of anything except for pure technical knowledge. So
they're on the more technical side of things.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So basically, this all just kind of started because I just happened to be browsing through. I don't know, it's probably like IGN or something like that. Sponsor. So we the article basically was all about just the production costs of this console. And right now, Sony can't figure out how to produce this new shiny black box for less than $450. And as you know, you can currently buy a Pro PS4 for $399. So right now they are actually, normally they would have already kind of announced their pricing and stuff based on historically when they kind of announced pricing and stuff for other consoles, or they would have at least known what it was going to be. And in this day and age, it would have leaked, but they're honestly sitting back and kind of waiting to see what Microsoft is going to do because they want to try to stay competitive. And if they come off the rip and they're like, yo, it's going to be $499, and then Microsoft's like, scrubs, they come in at $399, then like, which one you gotta buy?
Last time, didn't
exactly.
it? I mean, when they had E3 before Sony left E3. So yeah, they don't want that to happen again. I don't know what the sales numbers were like when they announced that last time.
Yeah,
but I don't remember.
That data.
Yeah, but
like
How's it look? Does it look okay?
I actually have not seen. I've seen the dev kit, which looks like an Atari.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it literally looks like. I was like, oh shit, ET coming back to fucking play PS5 with us.
What's worse, the Atari look or the VCR look that Xbox had?
But so this was pretty fucking ugly, dude. But it was a dev kit. It was just supposed to be functional. It
that's true. That's
aesthetically pleasing. I don't know what it's actually gonna look like.
So to play devil's advocate here, off of what you were saying, if you look back on like the PS3, when I believe the PS3 launched, it was selling for like between $600 or $800 or something like that. Because it had a Blu-ray player.
Yeah,
and so a good Blu-ray player costed $400 alone, $400 or $500.
That's true.
And now, because of Sony, it's Blu-ray is now the standard. I mean, you don't have what was the other one? HD DVD, right? Or like DVD versus Laserdisc or whatever.
Oh God! But do you know about Betamax?
I do know about Betamax. I was not even a thought in my parents' mind when Betamax was around, but I am made aware of the Betamax.
My grandpappy had a Betamax.
My grandpappy and his grandpappy before him.
So when he got tired of playing the banjo, we just strung up the Betamax.
But so in my opinion, like the price doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Except for to their bottom line, because the people who so I can appreciate, I play on both Xbox and on PC, and if I had a PlayStation and if I had friends who played on PlayStation, I would buy a PlayStation,
of course.
But for me, for me, I don't have any stance in the argument, because I've got a gaming computer. If I want to play some games, if I want to get cutting edge graphics, if I want all of that, I'm going to do it on my gaming computer. But you're talking about a difference of $450 and $1,500 for a good, if you want to play
right.
I mean, for $1,500 will buy you a damn good computer. I mean, you could get a 2080 in a computer, not a TI, a 2080 in a computer for $1,500.
Right.
With a, top end processor. You're not going to go Intel because fuck Intel, but sorry.
Damn.
I'm gonna get a couple re's in my inbox from that one.
Not sponsor.
No. For me, if I anybody who buys a PlayStation, they bought a PlayStation if they're say people our age, or between, an hour age range. If they bought a PlayStation 2, they probably bought a PlayStation 3, and then they probably bought a PlayStation 4, and shocker, they're probably going to buy a PlayStation 5 too. Same with Xbox. If you had an original Xbox, you probably bought a 360, and you're probably going to you probably owned a One, and now whatever Xbox 540, 360, 720, whatever the fuck they're going to call this new one.
It's called the X.
Xbox 1X, 2X, 3X.
Isn't it
Xbox Triple XL?
Xbox
number one.
X? I don't know. Actually,
binary code.
I don't know.
Xbox?
Did they even announce what it's going to officially be called? I'm not a big Xbox.
I have no idea. I have not been keeping up at all. I mean, I haven't played my PlayStation in so long. I just sent it to my parents because they were looking to upgrade. So unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. I just have this really super fresh gold controller. But I don't have a console at all right now besides what my wife has. She's a Nintendo girl. Big Pokemon master. So
big Pokemon master. I love it.
That's right, buddy.
And I bet you she's no Bulbasaur.
Oh, she is definitely not a fucking Bulbasaur. She's definitely an Eevee. Definitely an Eevee. And
I'm gonna contain myself.
And she but yeah, I don't have any consoles right now at all, but I will be getting a PS5 at some point because I did play the masterpiece that was God of War,
which is not going to be a console exclusive anymore. And this is what we were talking about before, and this is and I could be off here, but I've read several articles about this at one point, in the fact that exclusives are no longer a thing of the past now. It's not going to be that way because I mean, the PC has, like, PC gamers hold the smallest market share of gamers at this point, and this kind of builds off of what somebody that's listening live says, where a shockingly high number of people don't own a computer; they just own phones and tablets. I would be willing to bet that, like, an iPhone or an Android phone is the highest market share of gaming consoles, which, like it or not, absolutely. It is a gaming console out of anything else. And like, think about it this way. Like, I can, with my phone, okay, I've got a Samsung, I've got a S10 Plus. I can do this thing called DeX, where I can literally dock my phone and I can connect a keyboard and a mouse to it, and I have an entire desktop experience. Like that, it can become a computer, you know? And so I lost my train of thought and where I was going with it before, but like with the game consoles and with PCs, like, and with console or like brand specific exclusives, like nowadays, like the idea of having, with Microsoft having being both Xbox and Windows, pretty much every game that's released on Xbox is also released on Windows, which then doubles Microsoft's market share of specific titles and specific genres. So now you leverage that against Sony, where Sony developed, they make computers and they're okay at best, but they don't have their own operating system. They don't have any sort of exclusivity behind that except for the PlayStation. So now, as market share is shifting more towards mobile applications and towards, quite honestly, gaming computers, which once, probably in 5-10 years, gaming computers are going to be a pretty standard thing because the cost of entry is going to be significantly lower. Like right now, the barrier of entry to a gaming computer is very, very high because of like the price of graphics cards. That's really what it is. Like, and then like with processors, and this is kind of why I have my whole shtick against Intel, because I was an Intel guy until my most recent computer. There wasn't very much innovation in the space of CPUs because AMD was just hot garbage until very recently. Like with Ryzen now AMD is actually relevant again. And then like you have the recycling principle where like my gaming computer that I built last year will be infinitely more powerful and will age infinitely better than a PlayStation or than an Xbox in terms of graphical fidelity, bandwidth, everything. I mean, it's like my gaming experience on my PC, which if I want to use an Xbox controller or a DualShock controller on it, I can do both. And now you've got, if you want to spend, not bagging on anybody, if you want to go spend $500 on a new PlayStation, that's all you. But you can also spend an extra $200 and build yourself an entry-level gaming computer that after 6 months of saving up, you can, put another couple $100 into it and you can upgrade different components. And so like, if you can afford to buy a graphics card, then you should absolutely unequivocally be using a computer, because that is the only expensive component that you're not going to replace, very quickly. And so like a $1,200 graphics card, which is your highest end, entry level card, or a highest end 2080 Ti, which, AMD, as much as I love them, NVIDIA still makes the best graphics cards. You spend $1,200 on the highest end one or $800 on it, and then you can cobble together other pieces with just a couple $100 here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing.
Well, and I've been talking about, I know Evo, I've talked to you about this for years, but I'm actually shocked that these new consoles that are coming out don't have some sort of a plug and play upgrade system that they're planning on implementing down the line. Because imagine if you bought the PlayStation 5, whatever this box is going to look like, and then 12 months down the line, they put out basically what would essentially be an upgraded GPU or a processor or something, and you could literally just replace that piece, like almost like a modular system. And that way it doesn't necessarily separate the user base. It's just for those people that want to have the latest and greatest, they can be like, let's just buy this part unplug the old one, plug in the new one, trade it in at GameStop for 25 cents, and then move on. And then now we have better
soon to not be a thing anymore.
Soon to not be a thing. And then we've got better graphics than everybody else. But
so somebody in our chat is saying the whole point of consoles is to not have modular components, so the developers can tune to the hardware, which is absolutely true. Absolutely
true. And I understand that. I'm just saying that I'm just kind of surprised that they have not, because, you know, for like PC games, everybody can play the same game. Not everybody, but like you could have 10 people playing the same game with all different hardware and it all still works. It's going to look, it's going to look differently. Why haven't they figured out? You can also fine tune
all.
Yeah. And I'm just surprised they haven't figured out a way to do that for consoles, because like one of the things I know for me, like I was always a console guy, not because of necessarily the cost of entry, but just because of the whole, I didn't want to mess with having to, you know, if I wanted to turn the shit on, play my game, and it just played. And if it didn't, I just called Sony.
It sounds to me like you and I were pretty similar in that venture. It was kind of more of like an intimidation factor a little bit. I don't know if you're like me. I'm if anyone else is like me, then that fuck us, I guess. But
fucking pussy
for me. So for me, it was more like, oh fuck, something breaks in this giant fucking tower sort of thing, and it was really scary to me because I didn't want to go dump more and more money until I started streaming a couple years ago. Then I was like, okay, this is so bad, and nothing is broke except for when I had a fucking Wi-Fi call that had a driver defect, and I looked like I had a MOBO issue, but that wasn't any of my parts. Like that was
after you replace your first component,
transplant.
I mean, after I replaced,
it's not as bad.
I was like, this isn't really as bad as
right. Well, we swapped out. The only thing I've ever swapped out in this was the CPU. I went from the i5,
which is the
i9.
Scariest part.
Yeah,
that's the scariest thing that you can do.
In all fairness, I did not do it myself. Okay, let me just put that out there. I really was, because I had just dropped $1,500 in this PC, and I'm like, I don't want to fuck all this up.
I don't want to touch anything.
Exactly. Right. So thankfully, we have a buddy who came over, and he and I both did it. Obviously, he carried me. He had to go to the chiropractor afterwards from the carry, but he did it himself. With me kind of hands on, just kind of messing with it, with whatever he needed help with. And, after that, I mean, like you said, scariest part right there for the most part. It's not so intimidating to me. And after just building it in general, it wasn't all that bad. And having the 144 with all the settings, with ultra damn near everything, it feels pretty damn good. That is for sure.
Yeah, and you built yourself up to that. You didn't dive in at that. You upgraded parts after, and I don't know. I understand consoles are plug and play, and
it is definitely an ease of use sort of thing.
And
hey, if you get an SSD, you can turn it on. It's whatever. It doesn't take too long to boot it up, but I definitely understand the intimidation factor. 100%.
And I do understand the console aspect as far as living room gaming. Like if you wanted to play a family game on the Switch, like obviously you're not going to want to move your PC tower to your 65-inch TV.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to want to all crowd around a 20 whatever inch monitor. So like I do understand that.
I'm not gonna lie, I do miss my recliner sometimes, and just vegging. Just total vegging.
No, I don't know. I'm right now they're basically saying that they are anticipating, it is rumored whatever, that the PS5 is going to launch at $479. So
is there any kind of heads up on like hardware?
Well, there's been tons of heads up on hardware. I just don't know how much of it is actually true, because
gotcha.
That it's SSD for faster loading times and ray tracing capable and 8K graphics and all of this stuff, and it's only costing $400 to make.
Here's where my very strong opinions come into play. So
buckle up, boys.
And I'll give you guys my elevator pitch on it, because otherwise I'm going to sound like a fucking rambling nerd, which I am. But all right, so if you look at like the PlayStation 4 Pro, one of the biggest selling points, quote unquote, of the PlayStation 4 Pro was the fact that or maybe it was the Xbox One X or one of them, that they had quote unquote native 4K output, which is complete bullshit. It's actually rendering the video in 1440p, essentially, then doing upscaling to 4K. So with the PS5, and I don't know anything about the new Xbox. I'm completely out of the loop on it because I just genuinely don't care.
If I'm gonna buy it, basically identical.
Right. If I'm gonna buy it because somebody else bought it, and I want to play with my boys. But like essentially, what they're saying and what Sony's shtick is at this point is that the PlayStation 5 is going to be comparable with a computer like mine, which right now I'm running a Ryzen 7 3700X and two 2080 Ti's. There's no fucking way that a $450... Yeah, there's no way that a $450, $475, hell, any console under like $1,500 would be able to get anywhere near that. But that is specifically because the hardware just doesn't exist. With the new PlayStation, then they're going to be running off of an AMD chipset. The graphics card architecture is going to be based off of Navi, which is what their current graphics cards are, they're great. But there's not a dedicated graphics card and there's not a dedicated CPU. It's, imagine like you go and you buy a laptop off the shelf and it says Intel graphics inside. Stuff like that, where the graphics card and the CPU are both built into the same chip. And there's no way that you'll ever get like really good performance out of that, you'll get great performance out of it for what it is, but you'll never get comparable performance to something that is purpose built for rendering graphics and processing calculations. And so with that in mind, like that's where my whole thing is with how, and it's all marketing buzz. That's all it is. And so like, I'm just as bad as that guy that sent your kid a message talking about, all this good shit. I'm just as bad as that, but it's only because like the misinformation behind selling the product and making sure that like, the PlayStation 5 is going to be as good as Wookiee's gaming computer, and the fucking Xbox One X Project New Age is only going to be as good as his 2009 gaming tower. It's all marketing bullshit. And so like, come out and say, hey, we've got a system that's, outputting at 4K, 8K, we've got this amount of frames per second, and like, it's going to be good. Like, you're going to have a damn good time. You're going to turn it on. It's going to work. You're going to download your games. You're going to get into a party with your friends, and you're going to have a good time. If you want to stream some movies, it's going to look great, which is where I can also see the value in consoles. Because like, for me, aside from when I play with my friends, like my Xbox is I guess not anymore because of smart TVs, but it was at one point a glorified Netflix machine.
Yeah, definitely.
And then like, for the same price as an Xbox right now, I can build myself a home theater PC.
Right.
For $300-400, you could build yourself a computer that's smaller than an Xbox.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, if you want to do whatever you want with it, like, the only thing that's limiting you is your bandwidth. Which on the other side of the spectrum, even further, is like, I wouldn't be surprised if the next generation of gaming consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Y, what comes out? XY? Yeah, XY. The Xbox
Y.
Yeah,
the X is alphabet.
Because
right.
We got it.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if like that ended up migrating to services like Shadow, which is like you pay a monthly subscription and you're essentially just like renting a computer somewhere else. And as long as your internet is good enough, you can be playing off or Stadia, whatever, same principle. Where like you pay a monthly subscription, Stadia. As long as your internet is good, you can play whatever games you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like, there's, I don't know, I just have a hard time seeing the value behind like long-term investment in it. Like Nintendo's not going anywhere. Nintendo's not competing against anybody.
No, they're not.
And they shouldn't. because
they're their own thing.
And the Switch has been so massively successful by being something completely different than everything else. That even Alienware basically just copied their complete design and showed off that prototype for the whole handheld PC with the removable Joy-Con controllers or whatever. Because could you imagine having a PC capable of running high, maybe not ultra on all graphics, but high settings that you could literally pop controllers off and play it, or hook up a keyboard and mouse and just play it on the go? But I mean, it would be cool, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon.
Can we talk
30 minutes of battery life?
Can we talk about how much bullshit it is that I can only charge my Joy-Cons by having them docked on my fucking Switch? Like, why can't I like?
Why don't you just buy the charger?
Well, because up until 7:50 p.m.
that big of a deal.
up until 7:50 p.m. on February 18th, 2020, I was not aware that that existed.
That they had a charger for
What are you talking about, dude? It is 5:50 p.m.
Excuse me, I'm talking to you from the future.
Oh man.
No,
they
West
have,
Coast, Best Coast.
They have a separate little dock thing that you can just slide them onto and just charge them, and it's like $15. So,
well, easy investment.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all right.
I just
good talk.
I just changed your life. You're welcome.
Yeah, I only have to. I only have
stress
the
and anxiety
Joy-Con.
level just like went down significantly.
Yeah, I mean,
quality of life skyrocketed, dude.
I mean, I created a problem for myself because I only own the Joy-Cons that came with my Switch. So...
you gotta get the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller is like...
I do have the Pro Controller. I do have the Pro Controller, yeah.
Gotcha.
And my favorite thing about the Pro Controller is that it charges over USB Type-C.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the Pro Controller is that if you don't use it for a week, it dies. Oh wait, no, that's my least favorite thing about the Pro Controller is that anytime I feel like if I don't use it for a while, every time I go to pick it up and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play some Splatoon.
I just don't play enough of the Switch, man. I don't
always
know
dead. And then like by the time it charges, I've already been like,
I don't even want to fucking play anymore.
Well, it's not even that. Dude, if I have time to play games, I've got a couple hours, maybe.
When you have time to play games, you are hunting with me, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't happen very often, just because, like I said earlier,
no,
I mean,
it doesn't.
Like my family is just so busy and so active that I don't even think about playing games as much as I used to, because I always have something else that I'm planning for.
Yeah. No, I know, man. I know you are a very busy family man. Very busy.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I love it. I love that all of the hobbies that I'm into, I get to do with my children. Yeah. I took my I took Ari, my 5-year-old. I took my 5-year-old out. She said, "Dad, I want to go hunting with you." And I was like, "Okay." So she's like, "But I have to have some clothes like you so that the animals can't see me." So we drove down to the local Cabela's.
I want to be invisible like you.
And so, got her, and it was so cute because she had this like little camo hoodie and she had the hood over her head and she had this little face mask and all this stuff. And then she starts walking and I was like, oh my God, Bigfoot, like, can you calm down? Because it's just
clonking around the forest,
clonking around. And I was like, I'm glad that we can't see you because we can all hear you. And then you start thinking to yourself, I'm like, dude, you weigh like 40 pounds. How could you possibly be this loud while you're walking? Like, what?
Stomping is a thing, I guess.
Oh my God, I don't know. Man, it's crazy. And then she'd come up and she'd stomp over like super loud. She'd get in my ear and she'd be like, "Dad, I don't see anything." She starts like, and I'm like, I love that you're trying so hard.
Oh my God.
But I love that I get to
adorable.
I get to do all these things, with them, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But this
you get
weekend,
an escape from like your same typical routine as well.
Exactly.
When you go out like that, yeah. So I bet it's pretty relaxing.
It is. Like
imagine going outside in 2020.
But, fucking graphics suck, dude.
Fucking graphics. Upgrade your GPU, bro.
That actually reminds me. That actually reminds me of. That reminds me of a story. We had a friend back in the day who will remain nameless, and we all went to a movie, and it was kind of back when like 3D movies were the big thing. And so we're watching, we get done watching this 3D movie, and we come out, and this girl, man, God, this is one of those bless your heart moments. But she goes, oh my gosh, it was so awesome. I wish that real life was just in 3D.
You gotta warn me when you say that shit, dude.
Are you fucking serious right now?
I swear to God, this same person,
fucking shit on my tits. Oh my God,
the same person, dude. The same person stood outside in my backyard at a 4th of July party and looked up at the sky and saw the clouds moving because, wind, and said, wow, the earth is spinning really fast right now. This is the future of America. A winner there. Yeah, this is school. This is school at play. Dude, it was yeah, we do not talk to that person anymore.
Yeah. I feel like the idiocy would be contagious.
Yeah, right.
Honestly.
I'm sorry. I like you, but I'm just not going to allow you to be around my children.
You're too stupid. I'm just going to come out with it. You are too fucking idiotic. Around. That's what it is.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
I don't want to feed you because I don't want to contribute to your survival.
Oh my Lanta! Wow.
Man,
that's a yikes, dude.
What do you guys think? I think we've hit most of the major points we wanted to hit tonight. So
yeah,
y'all think? You guys got any closing thoughts? Wookie, closing thoughts?
This was fun. This was
good.
Looking forward to doing this every week.
Episode 1, Coronavirus and Lyme, baby.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Or I don't have the title up. I don't even know what the title is. Is that the title?
It is indeed the title. That is indeed the title.
Because coronavirus ruined my Alaska vacation.
Yeah.
Wow.
You wanna talk about that at all? Sucks. You got any feelings about that?
Wait. I like just got that. I registered that. You can't go on your trip now at the canceled cruises and shit because of beer.
This is basically what happened
because of a beer.
Because of a beer.
Umbrella, dude. Don't tell me Umbrella Corp ruined your
Umbrella. Yes,
your
Umbrella
fucking
Corp.
Cruise. Wow.
No, actually, so we had this trip planned. Me and my family from California and my children. We were going to go on this Alaska cruise, and then next year we were supposed to go out and we were going to spend a week or so in Yosemite and at my parents' lake house, which is about an hour away from Yosemite. And so because of everything that's going on with the coronavirus, we just figured rather than just take any sort of a risk right now, we're just going to flip-flop those trips.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't like, I'm not really like that nervous about it because I'm just one of those people that just always kind of has that it'll never happen to me mentality. But considering that it was that easy to just cancel it, get our money. I mean, we haven't paid our final deposit yet. So we're still within that cancellation window. I was like, let's just flip it. My son wants to go to Yosemite more than probably anywhere on the planet. And
when is that happening? Is that like a? Sorry if I missed it. Was that like a summer idea?
It was the original date for the cruise was June 2nd.
Okay.
Which
so now you're gonna be going to Yosemite around that time.
Yeah, and we're gonna go.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna go. Climb El Capitan. And
oh yeah, dude.
But I mean, hike to the top. I'm not gonna climb El Capitan, but
that's a lot of work. I'll meet you there. I'll just drive to the top, dude.
Yeah,
I'll have burgers and dogs ready for you when you get there.
But no, man. I mean, my 5-year-old's a trooper, dude. She's done a 6-mile round trip hike up a mountain and back down, and as long as you give them water and sugar, dude, kids will just go forever. And they just never complain. They'll be like, oh, I'm getting so tired, and I'm like, here's some candy, and then they just keep walking.
Good.
They just keep
that sound was the sound of me running up a
right.
That's my mountain run sound. Yeah.
Your mountain run or your Naruto run?
Naruto, you called me out, bro.
It is.
That's my Naruto.
Yes,
I saw a kid fucking doing that in the casino in Vegas, and I was like, "This fucking
dude." They were just taking the most efficient route to Area 51. They're like, they're like 6 months late, but they needed to get there.
Dude, his dad was like following behind. He's like, "Hey, Sammy, stop, man! No, don't run like that, dude." It was.
I mean, what? Who? I don't know that kid.
So funny. Oh wait, wrong one. Man.
Closing thoughts, Wookie. That's it. This was fun. Anything else?
No, this was fun. This was fun. We've had some good banter. I look forward to what we come up with next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am pleasantly surprised with our inaugural episode and how well everything has gone. I think that going forward, we should consider the fact that Discord might shit the bed again at some point. So we've got a backup strategy, but that's more something that we can, figure out on our own time. But aside from that, I mean, I think just
as long as it's
still
recording from, slobs, that's we should be good to go. It'd be an easy transfer to go over to the, to the other platform for the voice recordings for the stream at least. But I'm excited to see what we can do with this, man. I'm looking forward to a lot of things that I think the three of us can pull together and talk about and do. I mean, imagine just being a fucking radio show, especially
Ranch
when
in
one
Wyoming,
of the co-hosts
Ranch in Wyoming.
doesn't have doesn't have his voice, non-existent. But see, if I push really hard, and I, kind of use my gut,
you go from
I can talk really well.
God, but could you imagine doing that for the
entire
episode?
Fucking time, dude?
You sound like that guy from Sesame Street, like one.
Are you fucking kidding? Did you just? Oh my god! One.
Oh man, that's amazing. The count.
How about you, Spicy Splice? What are your closing remarks? What have you got?
I want to. I mean, I agree with everything you guys said, first of all, but I'm not going to repeat it. But I want to just remind everybody that's listening that if you do want to join in live, we're trying our best to keep up with chat as much as possible. And if we see questions or comments, we're trying to read off, the ones that are the most relevant to what we're talking about. So if you want to come out and you want to see us and talk to us and join in live, then, again, Tuesday nights, 7:30 Eastern. Twitch.tv/the Buttery Fresh. And then I also wanted to tell everybody who is watching live right now to stick around after we finish the recording. We are going to hang out with you guys for a few minutes and actually, interact a little bit more for you guys. But other than that, man, just thank you to the two of you for making this happen. This is something that we've all kind of talked about for a long time, and the amount of work from all of us to put this all together. And I couldn't have picked any two better hosts to go into this journey with. So thank you guys for being here. And then, buddy. Everybody who's watching live and everybody who's listening, thank you guys for being here and for all of the support. And we'll see y'all motherfuckers next week.
You